Bad Bunny just made history with one of the wildest and most politically charged Super Bowl halftime shows ever. His performance was done completely in Spanish, the first time ever in Super Bowl history. And it's already breaking records as the most watched halftime show of all time. But behind the flashing lights and global celebration, things got real tense. For years, people have protested against ICE and the Trump administration, and apparently, this show hit such a nerve that some folks on the right even threw their own all-American halftime show featuring Kid Rock as a response. What Bad Bunny pulled off wasn't just entertainment, it was a statement. His performance was packed with hidden meanings, political symbolism, and subtle jabs that had everyone talking. And today, we're breaking down what really went down and why this performance shook so many people up. To really get why this halftime show caused so much buzz, we gotta look at who Bad Bunny is and why he's such a powerful figure right now. Bad Bunny isn't just another pop star, he's one of the biggest names on the planet. Some even compare him to Latin America's version of Drake, and others claim he's already bigger than Drake. Crazy, right? He's from Puerto Rico, and that matters a lot. Puerto Rico has been a U.S. territory since 1898, and the island's complex relationship with the U.S. plays a big part in why his spot at the Super Bowl stirred up so much conversation. When the NFL announced in September 2025 that Bad Bunny would headline the 2026 halftime show, it sent waves through the industry. Now here's the thing, picking him made sense. The guy's global reach is undeniable, and even though he doesn't sing in English, his music connects with millions. Think about it, we've seen songs like Despacito and Gangnam Style take over the charts without people even understanding the lyrics. When Bad Bunny accepted the gig, he said something that hit deep. "What I'm feeling goes beyond myself. It's for those who came before me and ran countless yards so I could come in and score a touchdown." That right there set the tone for everything that followed. "This is for my people, my culture, and our history," Bad Bunny declared. And little did anyone know, that line was pure foreshadowing. Things were about to get real political. His entire performance being in Spanish wasn't just artistic, it was intentional. Bad Bunny has always been loud and clear when it comes to his opinions, especially as a bold critic of the Trump administration and its immigration policies. What made people talk even more was his tour schedule, or lack of one. When Bad Bunny announced his world tour, fans noticed something strange. Not a single stop in the continental US. In interviews, he explained why, saying he didn't want his fans to risk being targeted under Trump's mass deportation crackdowns. That's heavy. After the Super Bowl announcement, he even dropped a cryptic tweet that made headlines, saying, "I've been thinking about it these days, and after discussing it with my team, I think I'll just do one date in the United States." That one message stirred up all kinds of speculation about what he was really trying to say. And truth be told, this wasn't his first time calling out the US government. Back in 2017, when Hurricane Maria wrecked Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny didn't stay silent. He slammed the US for its slow and weak response to the disaster. During a hurricane relief concert, he wore a shirt that directly called out Trump. It read Presidente, which translates to, "Are you a Twitter user or a president?" That bold statement showed exactly where he stood, and it left people talking nonstop.
Muéstranos tu t-shirt.
Teacher.
Tell us about this t-shirt.
La camisa habla.
La camisa habla.
Yeah, es una pregunta para el pana. Va a tener que buscar un puertorriqueño o un mexicano que se la traduzca porque no creo que sepa español.
Bad Bunny's fire isn't just aimed at US politics. He's just as fierce when it comes to standing up for his own island. Back in 2019, he hit the streets with Ricky Martin and over 500,000 Puerto Ricans protesting corruption and demanding their governor step down. The energy was electric. People were angry, proud, and ready for change. Bad Bunny wasn't watching from the sidelines. He was right there in the crowd, megaphone in hand, marching with his people. Then in 2022, he turned his outrage into art. One of his music videos called out Puerto Rico's constant power outages, the growing gentrification in San Juan, and the rising privatization of public beaches. He didn't hold back, and fans noticed that these same themes popped up again during his explosive Super Bowl performance. Every move, every visual carried a message about colonialism and the ongoing struggles Puerto Ricans face under US influence. By the time the 2024 US presidential election rolled around, Bad Bunny was still stirring the pot. He shared clips of Kamala Harris slamming Trump online. and that sparked even more debate. Things heated up even more after comedian Tony Hinchcliffe made a controversial joke about Puerto Rico at a Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. And Bad Bunny wasn't having it. He made sure people knew where he stood. Loud and clear.
You know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
On top of all that, Bad Bunny has become a powerful voice for the LGBTQ+ community, and he's never been afraid to show it. Back in 2020, during his performance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, he made a bold statement that stunned viewers everywhere. He wore a black skirt and a white shirt that read, "They killed Alexa, not a man in a skirt," bringing global attention to the tragic killing of Alexa Luciano, a transgender woman from Puerto Rico. That moment hit hard. It was raw, emotional, and impossible to ignore. That same year, he kept the momentum going, showing more support by performing in drag for one of his music videos. It wasn't just about style, it was about breaking barriers and standing up for self-expression. His message was crystal clear: be who you are, no matter what anyone says. But of course, not everyone was cheering him on. Some of his other public moments rubbed people the wrong way, like that time at a Yankees game when he and his crew stayed seated during the performance of God Bless America. That simple act set off a storm online, with people arguing about whether it was disrespect or a protest. All of this built up to what many are now calling one of the most controversial Super Bowl halftime shows ever. The uproar got so intense that even President Trump himself jumped in to comment on the NFL's decision to pick Bad Bunny for the big stage.
I never heard of him. I don't know who he is. I don't know why they're doing it. It's like crazy. And then they blame it on some promoter that they hired to pick up entertainment. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Plenty of Republican politicians backed up Trump's reaction, brushing off the whole thing and saying they didn't even know who Bad Bunny was, or calling his Super Bowl spot a terrible decision. But the real flashpoint wasn't just the music, it was ICE. Bad Bunny has never been shy about calling out the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE. The agency works under the Department of Homeland Security and says its mission is to protect America through investigations and enforcing immigration laws to keep the country secure. But more and more people believe that's not what's really happening anymore. Back in Obama's years, ICE was meant to go after people facing serious criminal charges, or at least that was the plan. But once Trump took office, everything changed. The agency began targeting anyone it believed had entered the country illegally, no matter their situation. Suddenly, there were raids at job sites, churches, and even schools. Those moments sparked outrage across the country, leading to protests, viral videos, and even arrests of U.S. citizens who tried to step in, and that was only the beginning. Since then, things have intensified even more. ICE's budget skyrocketed with new funding from what officials called the Big Beautiful Bill in late 2025. Right after that, the agency launched Operation Metro Surge in Minnesota, a move described by local police and journalists as an extreme escalation of ICE's tactics. Communities felt under siege and waves of protests erupted across the U.S. Headlines exploded as activists, families, and even politicians demanded answers. The tension hit a breaking point on January 7, 2026, when an ICE officer reportedly shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. The story ignited nationwide outrage and reignited the debate over ICE's power and accountability. Bad Bunny's halftime show touched right on these issues, making it not just a performance, but a bold, fiery statement that people are still talking about. The Minneapolis incident sent everything spiraling. If the ICE situation was tense before, now it was boiling over. Protests erupted not just in Minnesota, but all across the country. Streets filled with people furious over what they saw as abuse of power. And it wasn't just activists this time. Everyday citizens, nurses, and families were out there demanding change. Polls started showing that most Americans believed ICE had officially gone too far. Then came another shocking tragedy. On January 24, 2026, ICU nurse Alex Preddy was reportedly pepper sprayed, restrained, and fatally shot by DHS agents after allegedly stepping in to defend a woman who had been pushed to the ground. The country couldn't believe it. Another death just weeks after the Renee Nicole Good incident. Tension exploded like never before. If things were already red hot, this moment turned everything into a firestorm. Protests doubled, emotions skyrocketed, and debates about ICE and federal power completely took over social media and the news. Everyone had something to say, and the entire nation was watching. Now imagine being Bad Bunny in the middle of all this. He had everything on the line, heading into his Super Bowl halftime show. Not just as an artist, but as a voice who had constantly spoken out against ICE and government overreach. The stakes were massive, and word spread that the U.S. government wasn't exactly thrilled about his involvement. According to reports, Corey Lewandowski, a senior advisor for the Department of Homeland Security, even claimed that ICE agents would be present during Bad Bunny's halftime performance. The idea alone sent chills through fans. It felt like the show could turn political before it even began.
Benny, there is nowhere that you can provide safe haven to people who are in this country illegally, not the Super Bowl and nowhere else. We will find you, we will apprehend you, we will put you in a detention facility, and we will deport you. So know that that is a very real situation under this administration, which is completely contrary to how it used to be.
The claim that ICE agents would be present at the Super Bowl didn't just disappear. Other Homeland Security officials backed it up too. That announcement alone sent shockwaves through social media and news outlets, turning an already heated situation into something even bigger. Supporters of Bad Bunny saw it as intimidation, while critics doubled down on their complaints. A lot of his opponents kept arguing that an American artist should headline the show, trying to question whether he even fit the stage. But his supporters fired right back, pointing out something simple and factual. Puerto Rico is part of America. That debate sparked a cultural clash online, with people arguing over identity, history, and what it truly means to represent the country on one of the biggest stages in the world. Bad Bunny eventually addressed the noise during his SNL monologue. Calm but confident, he said he was still happy to be performing and that he believed most people were excited too. He made it clear how proud he was to represent his Latin culture, standing tall and refusing to shrink himself to make anyone comfortable. When NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell was asked at a press conference why the league chose Bad Bunny, he didn't hesitate. He said, "He's one of the leading and most popular entertainers in the world. That's what we try to achieve. It's an important stage for us. It's an important element to the entertainment value. It's carefully thought through." That statement made it clear the NFL saw this as a business and cultural move, not a political stunt. Goodell also made another thing crystal clear. There were no plans to cancel the performance despite the backlash. He explained that part of the goal was to attract younger audiences, and he reminded reporters that no halftime performer in history has ever been picked without some kind of criticism. That's the nature of the spotlight. Meanwhile, the pushback kept growing. Turning Point USA, founded by Charlie Kirk and now owned by his wife Erica Kirk, announced they would host their own alternate halftime show just a week before Bad Bunny's performance. It felt like a cultural showdown was brewing, with both sides digging in deep. And right before all of this chaos, Bad Bunny had already made history at the Grammys with the first Spanish-language Album of the Year win. During his emotional acceptance speech, he said, "I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country, to follow their dreams." Then he added a line that instantly went viral. "Before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say ice out. We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens." That moment wasn't subtle. It was bold, proud, and impossible to ignore. It's also the name of a taco shop, so who knows? Maybe it means both things. That little detail had fans online debating like crazy. Some people thought it was a slick double meaning. Others said it was just a nod to real life. Either way, the symbolism had people talking non-stop. When it came to the food stands on stage, one Reddit user broke it down in a way that hit deep. They said poverty is a huge topic tied into the whole setup. The coconut stand, the nail salon booth, the taco cart. All of it reflected how people in Puerto Rico and across Latin America hustle hard just to survive. It's common to see small food stands on every corner, families running tiny businesses just to put food on the table. That grind culture was front and center during the show, and it felt intentional. That's also why boxing made an appearance. In many Latin communities, boxing is seen as a real path out of poverty, a shot at changing your life with pure grit and discipline. It wasn't random, it was another layer of storytelling woven into the performance. Then, things took a softer turn. A couple got engaged and even married during the show, with Lady Gaga singing at the ceremony. And yes, fans were shocked to hear the wedding was reportedly real. Some viewers believed Gaga closing out that moment was symbolic too, possibly critiquing the way Latino artists are sometimes treated as background entertainment at big American celebrations. It added another layer that had social media dissecting every second. And the celebrity lineup? Stacked. Cardi B, Jessica Alba, Pedro Pascal, and more showed up, making it feel like a full cultural takeover on the biggest stage in the world. But Bad Bunny didn't stop at cultural pride. He leaned straight into politics again. At one powerful moment, Ricky Martin, another Puerto Rican icon, stepped out to sing Bad Bunny's song, "What Happened to Hawaii?" The chorus hit hard. "They want to take away my river and the beach too. They want my neighborhood and for grandma to leave because I don't want them to do to you. What happened to Hawaii?" The message wasn't subtle. The song calls attention to colonialism and the fear of losing land, culture, and identity. It draws parallels to how Hawaii became part of the United States, a process many critics describe as strategic and heavily influenced by American expansion. The performance turned that history into a bold visual statement, connecting it back to Puerto Rico and raising big questions about power, ownership, and identity. The performance even touched on history in a bold way. There was a moment that hinted at how alliances can slowly turn into control, almost like saying, "We're still friends, we're still allies. Just let us place one more base." Then, boom. World War II imagery flashed across the screen, followed by scenes symbolizing martial law and takeover. It wasn't subtle at all. It felt like a dramatic rewind of how power shifts happen over time. Right after that, the stage exploded with visuals of power lines snapping and performers falling to the ground to represent the island's constant blackouts. It was chaotic on purpose. Power outages are a huge issue in Puerto Rico, especially after major storms damage already fragile infrastructure. One Reddit user even shared, "Storms and poor electrical infrastructure are a constant issue on all U.S. territories. Longest I personally went without power was 2.5 months on the island." That kind of reality hit hard. Many residents blame the struggling power grid on lack of funding, resources, and long-term attention. The performance turned that frustration into a loud visual statement. Then came one of the most powerful images of the night. Bad Bunny walked onto the field holding the Puerto Rican flag. But not just any version. This one had the light blue triangle, a symbol often linked to Puerto Rican sovereignty and independence. That detail was massive. Other versions of the flag use a darker blue, which is commonly associated with Puerto Rico's current territorial status. Choosing the light blue version sent a clear message without saying a word. And here's where it gets deeper. Back in 1948, the original Puerto Rican flag, along with anything connected to independence, was actually banned for nearly a decade. That means this wasn't just a prop, it carried serious historical weight. Bringing it to the Super Bowl stage felt like reclaiming something that was once silenced. Then, at the very end of the performance, Bad Bunny switched to English. The only time he did all night, he said, "God bless America." That moment alone had people frozen. Was it unity? Was it irony? Was it both? Right after that, he displayed the flags of 20 nations from across the Americas, including the United States and Puerto Rico. It felt like he was expanding the definition of what America really means. Then he spiked a football that read, "Together, we are America." Behind him, a massive screen lit up with the message, "The only thing more powerful than hate is love." That line closed the show with a punch. There were even more hidden details packed into the performance, but by that point, the message was clear. It wasn't just a halftime show, it was culture, history, and politics colliding on the biggest stage in the world. This halftime show was stacked with meaning from start to finish. And what made it even crazier was how calm and controlled it felt after weeks of outrage about ICE, government tension, and non-stop criticism. People expected chaos. Instead, they got symbolism layered so smoothly that some viewers didn't even catch it the first time. That's what made it hit harder. Of course, former President Trump didn't stay quiet. He quickly reacted to the performance, saying, "The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America, and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence." He didn't hold back. Then he added, "Nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country." That statement instantly blew up online. Supporters agreed with him, critics pushed back even harder, and the culture war energy went into overdrive. He even threw in a random comment about kickoff rules again, which had people confused and laughing at the same time. Meanwhile, while Bad Bunny was commanding the main stage, Turning Point USA rolled out their own all-American alternate halftime show. It was headlined by Kid Rock, along with Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett, all country artists aiming to present a completely different vibe. The event even had support from high-profile political figures, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and other officials. They clearly wanted to frame it as a patriotic response to the NFL's choice. Now, putting politics aside for a second, a lot of viewers online weren't impressed. Some people who tuned in out of curiosity said it felt over the top and awkward, almost like it was trying too hard. The contrast between the two shows couldn't have been sharper. One leaned into layered cultural storytelling and symbolism, while the other pushed a loud, straightforward patriotic image. By the end of the night, it wasn't just about music anymore. It was two completely different visions of America playing out at the same time on two different stages. And whether people loved it or hated it, nobody could deny one thing: this halftime show changed the conversation forever.
Be somebody, make a name for yourself. Life's hard to go through hell. There comes a time when you gotta slow down. That's what we doing now when we chillin' on the girl. Lay back, swimming like a Jules Jones.
Then things got even messier. Viewers began noticing that the audio on the stream seemed slightly out of sync, which instantly sparked theories that the performance might not have been fully live. Social media detectives jumped in fast, clipping moments and analyzing them frame by frame. Some media outlets even added fuel to the speculation, questioning the production quality and timing. And that wasn't all. Soon after, rumors started flying that TPUSA may have artificially boosted their stream numbers. People online began accusing the event of using bots to inflate views, turning the alternate show into its own mini controversy.
Yo, is the chat frozen? I don't get it. Live chat. It's not loading it.
I just wanna catch my fish, drive my truck, drink my beer.
Guys,
Not wake up to all this
hello?
stuff I don't want.
Hello?
Same kind of gun I hunt with. Just kill.
Even some well-known conservatives like Milo Yiannopoulos and Candace Owens were questioning the alternate show's numbers, saying it looked botted. That's when you know things got awkward. And even if the stream wasn't boosted, a lot of people online said the whole situation just felt forced. Like it was trying way too hard to make people angry over something that really isn't that deep. At the end of the day, someone performing in Spanish at the Super Bowl shouldn't be treated like a national crisis. It's music. The NFL has been clear about wanting to grow beyond just the American market. They're competing globally now, not just locally. When you look at it through that lens, choosing an artist with an international fan base actually makes business sense. If they want to compete with massive global sports brands and expand their reach, bringing in artists who connect with audiences worldwide is a smart move. And the reactions kept getting wilder. Even Nick Fuentes made a comment saying there's nothing inspiring or attractive about what the white right has to offer in its current form. That statement alone had people arguing across every platform. Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom added to the chaos by tweeting what he claimed were Craigslist job listings looking for actors to cheer loudly at the Kid Rock event. The post suggested organizers wanted people to clap and hype the show like it was a packed arena concert. Now, whether that listing was real or not is still unclear, but if it was true, that would be next-level embarrassing. The internet had a field day with it either way. When you step back from all the noise, though, one thing is obvious. Bad Bunny delivered a halftime performance that was bold, layered, and impossible to ignore. Some people loved it, some people hated it, but nobody could pretend it didn't spark a massive conversation. It will probably go down as one of the most debated Super Bowl performances ever. And honestly, this isn't the first time the halftime stage caused controversy. Just look at last year's performance from Kendrick Lamar. That had people talking for weeks too. If you want to break down that show and other halftime moments that shook the culture, click the video on screen right now. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video if you rock with this kind of breakdown.